Yeah.
we would love to be.
So the goal is to be similar to like.
And he made a deal where
So
for some reason it failed.
They did that.
And they want out of it.
Multi-millionaires.
Right.
And so I always feel.
This doesn't work.
I was getting cut out of
Whole lot.
the opportunity for instance.
Okay,
And come to find out the SEC.
make sure I
the
understand.
Federal
They're just
government.
trying to come
that
down.
Actually
So
prevents
there's
us from being
15
able to do it.
easement because of that.
We went through our these parties in Washington DC.
Yeah,
So
say, I'm
Yeah,
glad they're doing that. So they've already done it over here in other.
stocks or crypto.
This was an old one and they just bought it.
Why wouldn't you let them buy
Okay,
like
got it,
real,
got it.
real assets?
And then I wanted to ask about this.
So.
What are they, what, she said in here.
We're on five right now. So like.
What are they doing
Yeah.
at the moment?
So it needs to bring their property. Choose.
So what are we?
You're approving the plat for them to sell these individually.
So right now.
This is already.
Five property cash. So we raised money at the beginning.
You can do that. The building can go
A
up.
house or.
And you can come in and plat it
And
after
then
that.
we'll put it on. the
You can't sell them
website.
individually until
Right.
you've done
So
it.
people will put their money in and we'll refund ourselves.
It's just being able to
When we
put
get
legal
going
descriptions
faster.
on this, so that way you say,
Okay.
so if I want to buy that unit, I
Okay.
have to have a legal
Someone could come
description.
and say,
And
yeah,
that
I
way-
like
Legal description. These are already. Yeah.
Exactly.
Already built it.
I was like, I'm so mixed up on this.
You're going, wait a minute, they're gonna tear them down and build new ones?
It's like,
It's a little higher
It's
risk,
like-
but the
okay.
return, you know,
Alright.
for it's like bread and butter, single families.
I'm gonna check it out. Maybe I'll hit you up if I have questions.
Yeah, dude.
I'm curious.
and then
Bigger.
there's one public comment on this one.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. I was like, wait, I gotta remember the public comment. So I went and looked at that.
Did you see any
Yeah,
Sky Meadows?
what's this one called?
That one is the.
This is Moon Road.
Understand.
Think I saw, oh.
Good, I'm doing good. Like treating you.
And-
Yeah, and we have that cheat sheet. Your name. Yeah, it's yours.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a paper copy.
Paper.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We have that for you, so.
Perfect. Thank you. Hi, husband. Oh, I know.
Little third tonight? Or the third item?
Yeah. Coming
Yeah.
from-
That's the Sky Meadows. Next up, this is Poland.
This is Poland.
Yeah, and the water tower sits right here.
It was. It was this one because they said, oh, full line.
Yep.
How we're gonna make this work.
Because they have a road here, they're gonna have a road here,
Yeah.
they're gonna have two roads coming into here. So they have the adequate. Other than right now, that's not something you have.
No.
All you do is say, does this work in this? Yeah,
This is Mitch.
they have to design it. to make it work. To
Me
make.
too.
It's like,
Plan.
oh, look.
Curious.
Because they
Do
would
you guys
to
have
report that.
Oh, they will.
Yeah, they're changing lot size and everything else eventually, so we get the reason. So it's time to come in and amend the.
Those, I already know those. Do you want them? Just straight line. My mom.
She is not building. So we don't, we have some really rough. But all we have so change to be able to give them flexibility on what product.
Right. I mean. So city is very. And I need to
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like.
Yeah, we we're just saying it's been what?
Perfect. Thank you.
Even here, put a wrap.
Is that what we're talking about?
It is big.
So.
Curious, I guess. Oh, because of the.
It's all your little list of stuff, like, oh yeah, it's certain reasons, but.
There's reasons I think that.
Yeah. About some of this. On one of these, this one.
Even city council.
No, I think there were very effective there, so I think it's working plan.
We always have this carryover. Well, yeah, because. They. So that amount of money there.
You might be our R1.
Very full. $10 million. We're paying all that.
You guys have lots of.
Yeah.
So like slightly smaller. Any more than 5 feet. We can take more.
Yeah,
I'm saying this that so. I mean, whatever.
just takes time.
So it'll be just southwest. Boss. Well, are you leading? That's a round trail there.
Hey, hold on. I want to know what this is.
I think
What are we watching?
This
City's got 3
Things
outfits.
are a little football, really serious round. We're watching the film on.
The drone?
Yeah, drone footage of 10-year-old. Yeah, fifth grader.
You can.
Let me know when you want to know. I've been there, we've done that.
We changed the accessory.
Yeah.
The one that-
Yes. It's all mine too.
If you exceed the.
Sure. Wait, say ready to begin? Hey, just, okay. I'm like, let's-
Yeah, this is.
5 feet.
Next one.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like-
I don't know if he's coming. He just says, do I need to? And I says, no. Just not to. The rezone's always. Great question. For some reason, there's very few YIMBYs. There's a lot of YIMBYs.
Right.
Yeah. You too.
It'd be a bit to.
So the moody ones on those. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm an impact. Member.
It's good. Oh, wait.
Do we have to have? It comes down to votes, right? Because if it's in the impact zone, that's I vote way. I mean, who's the other one? Bruce? The other one's like.
Say,
Just separate ones.
There's one for just attendance and there's one if you go to staff. I'm like, there's 3 sheets. I don't know which one signing up.
On the top.
Hi.
And there's
On the
it's
phone.
kind of- And I think that one is Twitter for comments. It should say comments on the phone. Yeah, the other one should be just.
No.
Somebody out there
No.
answering questions.
Yeah. Did he talk to you? He was like taking a break from
Wait, so you like?
So now I'm thinking of it. The park is up in our chicken. And he is.
What would happen?
But yeah, we did the other night. We're the rednecks. Hi.
Oh.
You know, yeah, we'll be your token rednecks. It's fine. I'm from Georgia. We'll blame it. We were out for you.
All right.
That doesn't count. That's just having kids. Nice try though.
Bad chickens.
I mean, that one's not your fault. Mark came over in the rain yesterday and I knocked on the door and I called the rest of the rain. I just want to come check on Cherry. We had. Oh, yeah. Did you hear anything? Yeah, like a couple weeks ago. So they had one left. So
that's a benefit of developing.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for coming tonight. We are ready to start and we'll welcome you here. Thank you for your interest in the process. And we'll look forward to your participation later when we have the public hearings. We'll begin tonight with the Pledge of Allegiance. That'll be led by Tammy Geddes.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call
Daniel Campbell.
here.
Sally Smith.
Here.
Aaron Richards. Here. Jim Lawrence. Here. Bruce Casper. Dave Francis.
Here.
Vanessa Johnson. Ryan Thackeray. Vern Muir. Dan Hanna. Here. Tammy Geddes.
Here.
Okay, thank you. And I'll just note, I may be standing for part of this meeting, although I'm chairing it, just nursing a lower back injury. So if I stand, it's not a signal for that anything special is happening. Just I'm resting my back. We need a motion to approve the planning and zoning minutes for September 18th.
Moved.
Okay. All right. So moved. And any second to that?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion of that, of the minutes or the motion? All in favor then?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? And any abstentions? Jim Lawrence and Aaron Richards will abstain from that. The first item tonight is consideration of a plat. This is Summerfield Division 10, a plat amendment located at approximately 2450 West, 550 South. The application is to adjust the boundaries of 5 lots. And I think we'll hear then first from that, from staff then, or from the applicant. Is that staff or you, Alan?
Yeah, staff will do it.
Great.
Thank you, Chairman, Vice Chairman. This is Summerfield Subdivision 10. And they had done the plat here a few years ago. And they come in and started looking and they run into some concerns about the canal company being able to service their ditch in the backside of this lot. And they didn't want to build a fence and then have to have people mow outside of it. So they're coming forward to ask for an amendment to move that in 15 feet to give the canal company a full access to be able to maintain their ditch. So that is the request in front of you today, is to amend the plat to just move that 15 feet. Just on those 5 lots.
Are those 5 lots built out, Alan?
They are not.
Okay.
This is at the end of the townhomes. The townhomes sit just to the south of it. Yep.
Okay. Great. No, this is not a public hearing
Correct.
at this time, so
Yeah.
they're just.
Staff's in support of it. We recommend it to you to
Amend it.
recommend.
Okay, great. Okay. Great, so we'll have discussion of that. Commissioners, or questions for staff?
So Alan, I'm just going to clarify again publicly, this will match the rest of Summerfield. They've moved in clear along that whole canal line.
Yeah, from there to the east, clear up behind Weimer's property, all of that will now have that 15-foot. This just matches it to those.
Okay,
Because those were plats 11, 12, and 13. And so they hadn't made that adjustment then. Now they just want to come back and make this correction. So they all match.
okay, thanks.
Mhm.
But it all still fits in the LRD2 zone.
Yep, still meets the zone and the lot size and all the requirements.
It certainly makes sense. You don't
Yeah.
want to have to maintain outside your fence.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's my feeling. Great. Any other discussion before motion? Or you had a question on your face? Okay.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we recommend to council for approval of the Summerfield Division 10 plat amendment.
I'll second that.
Seconded by McKay. Any discussion of the motion? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Thank you. Second item on our agenda is another plat. This is the Rosewood Townhomes plat located approximately 52 North 3rd West. And the application is to subdivide this parcel into 57 lots. And on other information here, it says 56 lots with a common area lot. So that's what that is apparently. Property is currently zoned high density residential 1. So Alan, would you present on that, please?
Just for your information, this shows you on the parcel map. This is Wolf Lighting right here. Builders First is right here, just so you're oriented on where the property is located right here of where they're building. The buildings are already up. They have them completed. They haven't finished the project, but they want to plat these so they can sell the units individually. They are townhomes. And so they've come to us and requested that. This is the plat showing that property of what they're asking from you. And we have reviewed it as staff. It meets the requirements. They've passed all of that. And we're recommending it to you for recommending approval from the city council.
Okay. And this is also not a public hearing, so we can proceed straight to commissioner discussion or questions for Alan.
Correct.
So for clarification purposes, these are already being built. They plan to rent these out. This would allow them to individually sell the doors, not in blocks of units.
Yeah, they could do either,
Yeah.
but you can sell them as individual units. It's a townhome project. So we've had people that'll come in other projects, buy the whole building, rent them out individually, or they sell them individually. The choice is up to the owners at that point.
And that's the only change that this,
It's the only thing it changes is just the ability to be able to market these individually. Mhm.
So how would they have marketed them otherwise?
They would have just been able to rent them only.
So
Or they
this
would have had.
moves
or they
from
would-
rental
Yeah,
to being.
or
able
they
to
could have
sell.
sold the whole project as
yeah.
well.
One owner would have to own everything.
Would have to own all 56 plus the common.
Yeah, they'd had to have everything. This way, they can come in and they can sell those individually.
Okay.
There's
Thank
an HOA that will be established. They have their CCNRs in place, all of that. So it will be managed, the common areas and that.
Yeah, I think this is something that the market benefits from, affordable size housing. To be able to market them individually makes sense.
Yeah, the city identified 6 areas of concern that impact the development. Well, the property is already impacted anyway, but so did the city have any recommendations for these 6 impacts that you identified?
6 impacts, I guess.
You did an increase in daily or peak hour traffic.
Oh, yeah, those have all been addressed.
They've all-
They've all been addressed.
You're comfortable with it?
Public Works has signed off on all of the different things. So
Hey, Dan, let's get your mic.
Push the button right there.
Get you on there.
I'd rather be quieter.
yeah, when we, usually if we come to you from staff, we will tell you staff recommends that covers fire, covers Public Works, planning and zoning, building, any requirements. If we have an issue with it, we will tell you, we don't support on this issue. We have these challenges.
Right, I had seen where you'd identified these, but
Yeah.
you hadn't seen a.
Yeah, we try to let you know what it is we're reviewing to make sure all of those things are looked at and we've met those issues.
Well, good job, thank you.
Thanks.
It doesn't appear to me that in changing the way that they're sold or rented, that it would change anything in terms of traffic or
Mhm.
parking or anything else of that kind. Just simply a way that it's how they're presented to the public for.
And these are single bedroom units, so they're very small impact as far as the traffic, or less impact when it comes to traffic than projects. So they're only required to have 1.5 parking spaces per unit in doing that.
So every unit's 1 bedroom.
Every unit is 1 bedroom.
Oh.
It's more of a studio apartment. There's not even doors on the bedroom.
Oh, wow.
So it's
Okay.
a very, and this is that entry level that they're trying to get into
Yeah.
the town
This is what
to be able to get people to get a start.
yeah, this is definitely what the market's missing.
Yeah.
Okay. Any further discussion or motions that we want to make?
I make a motion that we recommend approval of the plat for the Rosewood Townhomes.
Okay.
I'll
moved
second that.
And seconded by Aaron. Okay. Any discussion of the motion? All in favor then?
Aye.
And any opposed? Okay. Thank you very much. That motion also carries. This brings us to our first public hearing tonight, and I'm sure that some of you are perhaps here for this or for the one that follows it. And this one is for the Moody Road Townhomes. A rezone request from transitional ag to LDR 3 at 396 West Moody Road. And this application is to change zoning map of about 11.67 acres to LDR 3. And this will be a public hearing, so we hope that you've signed up for that. And if you are here to speak, we'll first hear from those who are in favor of the proposal, then those who are neutral to the proposal, and then those who are opposed. And so we'll go in that order, but first we'll hear from the presentation from staff.
Sure. Thank you. The property is located here. You can see it on Moody Road.
Mhm.
It is right in here. It was recently just platted. The property has been sold or has signed to purchase. And the new owner is looking at changing the zoning to an LDR 3. He wants to go to a higher density in this area. And so he is coming to you to request a rezone to move this to LDR 3. We have MDR 1 here and we have MDR 2 over here. So we're within that region. It fits within our comprehensive plan of what we kind of looked at the future of where this is going to go. And so staff has reviewed it. It meets the requirements. One of the concerns that happens in here, it's basically up to the developer. Currently, there is no service for sewer or water in this area. The closest is on 2nd East, clear up here. The city is working on putting a new sewer line to here, back down to here, back down to here, and all the way into the sewer plant. That's a whole new line that will service this whole area. We're close to getting ready to start on that. Probably next spring would be the hope. They're aware of this, the developer is, that they will have to wait for that sewer before it's available. Water will have to be brought down all the way from 2nd. I think the church has it to the end of their property, so they would have to come into there. So staff has reviewed it with those few caveats. They're recommending it to you for recommendation to city council for approval.
What's the funding reestablished for the free span highway crossing?
What's that now?
Was the funding reestablished for the?
It has not been reinstated at this point. As far as we know, it's still being held up. Hasn't been shut down as far as we know, but it hasn't been reinstated.
Okay.
While that road is opened up for sewer improvements, does it not make sense to run water lines at the same time from the city standpoint?
Well, it usually ends up becoming the issue of the developer has to pay those costs. And they may work in conjunction when they do that. As they need the sewer and the water, they may run their water down at the same time. So we're not opposed to working with the developer in that way. Yeah.
So what's to the south? So that you had MDR coming
You
here
are-
to the east. What's
You are
southwest
tagged.
of the road?
This is tag.
That's all tag.
Yes. The majority of this in here is tag. This field is tag. And I think there's one lot in here that is tag. So,
Is it possible for you to pull up the zoning map?
yes.
The current zoning map for us to see, please?
Yep. Now you can see all of the tag, all this blue with the grass in it. You have the MDR1 here, MDR2 here. The church site has not changed their zoning yet. They said they would wait until they're ready to start moving on the other lots besides the temple. That gives you an idea of what's going on around it.
Okay, that's zoning. Can you pull up comp plan?
Yes.
Thanks.
And that's the intermediate residential, which LDR3 does fall within that.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions for staff?
So this property wouldn't impact any future crossing over the highway?
The
No.
intermediate was the brown that was from Moody Road up.
Now, this particular property is in, correct me if I'm wrong, is in the impact zone.
That is correct.
Okay.
Mhm. So it is not in city limits. And to be annexed, it would have to be contiguous. And right now, there is no connecting
not.
properties to be able to annex it. They're hoping to work with people around them to be able to bring that annexation about here soon. But I
Okay.
haven't heard whether have worked that out.
And the red line here indicates city limit.
That is
here.
city limits, correct.
And any further questions? No.
Alan, can we just talk about the number of door increase that this change would have on the ability of that land to hold what it holds now versus?
Yeah, currently it would be able to hold, I think there's 8 lots, 8 or, yeah.
Yes.
So you could put 8 homes on that. There's 11 acres at 10 units per acre. You're looking at approximately 110 units in this same area
In
That's if-
LDR3.
in LDR3. That's if there's no roads dedicated or right of ways dedicated. All that has to be subtracted out before they can then count their densities. So that usually reduces the amount.
So my other question is, in the past, we've had projects that were in impact zones
Mhm.
that prior to getting to this point, didn't they need to be annexed to be able to use city utilities and to?
We have done projects where they're outside of the scope of the city. And what it does, it ends up costing the developer, he has to pay an accelerated rate on those services because he's not paying the taxes to the city to maintain sewer, water, and all of that. So his rates will be higher until he is annexed into the city.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We're ready now to open the public hearing. And again, if you would like to speak, we ask you to come up to the podium, state your name and your address, and how you're connected to the proposal, whether you're a neighbor or just an interested citizen or whatever. And please try to focus on the facts. We certainly want to hear your feelings about this, and limit your time to 3 minutes. If you do agree with someone who's spoken before, we ask you just to simply state that you agree, and then if you have anything further to add, that would be appropriate. So we'll first hear from those who are in favor of the proposal, and then those who are neutral, and then those who are against. So we'll open the public hearing. And is there anybody here who would like to speak in favor of this proposal? Good. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Max Shirley. I live at 443 West Moran View Road. And this property that has been sold was the Shirley Irrevocable Family Trust of my mother's. And so we are the seller, and we're very much familiar with what is happening. We understand too of the concerns some neighbors may have. But I'd like to tell you why I'm in favor of this proposal. First of all, I think it meets the demands of a growing community. I've been in some of these meetings in the past, and I hear frequently the demand for more housing. And so I think it accomplishes that. Secondly, I think completion of the project will complement the aesthetic qualities that are currently being developed in that corridor from the temple on down to this property. We've talked with the builder, the owner, and he's going to build some very nice townhouses. They will look good. So we feel good about that. And then the next thing I had in mind is that this application is consistent with things that have been approved. So if you were looking at precedent, there's some precedent set in approving this sort of thing. Approval increases, my next point, approval increases the value of the property around. We may hear from neighbors that this is not desirable to have this kind of project around them. And it has been a quiet neighborhood for years. But we know that with approval of this project and the sale of the project, the value of the property increased dramatically. And so for those who are in the neighborhood, we'd just like to say their value is now much higher, many times higher than it was previously. There's another thing that I would like to mention, and that is that the approval of this project complements or fits in with the long-range planning of the city, as I understand it. My property on Moran View Road borders Fifth West. And I know that for years, the city has been talking about extending Fifth West on north to Moody Road. And then that would develop quite a traffic corridor there. And it would feed the community of Walmart and the Temple community that will be growing. And so this property, this proposal just kind of ends that extension of property and development that is already in process. I think it complements what the city's trying to do with Fifth West and makes it a more desirable thing. This is all I wanted to mention. I think I've used my 3 minutes, but I do stand in approval of this, and thank you for the opportunity of addressing you.
Thank you. Others who would like to speak in favor of the proposal? Seeing none, anyone who would like to speak neutral to the proposal, neither for nor against, but perhaps has some other information, please.
Okay, I'm Darla Wilson. Our property is right across the road on Moody. You can see that little square there. That's our property. Our concern, well, when we saw that they'd already plotted it for single dwelling, that kind of fit with what the people out there that have been there for years feel like, that it can hold that much. But when you start bringing out Fifth West and then putting in townhouses, that's a lot of traffic down that road that's going to dump right back into Second East, it seems like. We don't mind the developing, but if it's that crowdedness, if they don't provide enough parking, would they be parking on that very busy road that farm machinery with big headers and stuff go up and down that road? That would be a problem. You can't park on that side of the road. That's why in front of our house, we've got a little extra give there because we have some of that traffic with great big headers and cattle trucks and, you know, semis going up and down with feed and hay and such. So we don't, personally, I don't like to impact with that much more traffic right there where there's already all this farm traffic on that has headers and if they, you know, have a party and they don't have a place to park, where are they going to park but on the street? And you do. If you see those combines come down, you'll realize it takes most of the road and everybody kind of goes off into the gutter. So we're concerned a lot on the traffic there and how much it's going to impact the farmers that are around there and with their machinery and everything. We would like to keep it a nice community. It's kind of outside of Rexburg, but we know that sometime Rexburg will come through. But right now, there's a lot of farming. If you look at the map and ranching and stuff that goes on there, and it's a lot of traffic with big machinery. And we'd like to keep it simple. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time.
Thank you very much. Others who would like to speak neutral, neither for nor against? Yeah, thank you. Seeing none then, those who would like to speak opposed to the proposal. Again, please state your name and your address for us. Thank you.
I'm Neil Call, address to 320 West Moody Road, Rexburg. My property is immediately east of this proposal. I have 5 acres right in there. And part of it has been the discrepancy on the borderline, you know, there. I've had that, bought that property 50 years ago, and there's been a fence there that was a boundary by agreement. And when they come in and surveyed that 50 years later, there's a 15-foot discrepancy, you know, there into my property. But I talked to my attorneys and they said that Idaho has a law of boundary by agreement, and that fence line has been there long enough that that is the legal boundary, both on the east side or west side of my property and also the north that runs up the canal. So that was one that I would talk about. The other, I think, has been addressed, some of what the infrastructure is going to be with that many homes in there. And I guess the other concern I have there is on my property, will there be a privacy fence? You know, has to be between my property and theirs. And also a berm that goes on my property. I flood irrigate, as does all the neighbors around there. And so the developer's got to realize no basements in those homes that they're putting in, because I will flood them out. And so beware of that. That was basically my concerns. I, for or against, been there 50 years. I'm not for 50 homes going in next to me. You know, there, I guess would be my only disagreement there. Thank you.
Thank you. And others opposed to the proposal?
Big questions or have to go up?
Questions for us or for the project? I think probably if you come up and state your name and your address and then ask your questions as part of your presentation or express your concerns, that would be probably the way to do that now.
Alan Call, my address 1133 Country Road in Sugar City, but my dad is right next. How do you guys handle with between the surveys and the fence lines? Is that something that's already addressed and handled, or is it on a per property basis like this? If you zoom in on that, or if I do, so it's basically.
Yeah, that's probably not a question that we can
So if we
discuss.
Staff.
So it's, yeah, this is really more of a
there's about a
time for you to
50
express concerns.
as far as we go.
So here's the thing you have to look at. When you get into fence disputes, property line disputes, that becomes a private deal between entities. So that would be between the developer and between you
Okay.
and resolving that. We
So
don't-
that's not with planning and zoning.
No, we
with
don't get
correcting survey
involved.
Lines or anything that
No,
way.
we don't. We make sure the surveys meet what they say on the
Okay.
deeds. But it's all down to if there's a dispute, that has to be handled
Okay.
privately.
With LDR3, what my understanding is single family homes, is there any plans of what's wanting to go in there or not yet?
At this point, we can't even discuss what's going in,
Yeah.
other than they're allowed.
So
Townhomes, single family, duplexes,
how many was it doors per acre on a
10 per
LDR3?
acre.
10 per acre. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. That's the main one there of just questions trying to clarify for
Yeah.
that fence line.
And just perhaps to clarify, when we discuss this proposal, we'll be discussing the zone change request, but not any details about the projects themselves. That's not part of our
Okay.
our responsibility. So at the yet.
Give them the blurb on why we don't do that.
Oh, sure. Because but the zone change could happen and then a new owner could take over and change the project, or, there's no, at this point, no guarantee that what's talked about is going to be actually what's built. So we have to consider what the maximum possible impact is if this zone change takes place. What's the largest project that could possibly go in? So that's what we'll be considering, in the proposal. So not the project itself, because that could change. Okay. Any others who are speaking against the proposal? Okay, seeing none, then we'll close the public hearing. And
Mr.
if the staff has any, or yes.
The applicant is online. I
Oh,
would
okay.
just ask Marco if you have any rebuttals
Yes.
or anything you would like to at this point. This is your
Thank you.
chance to speak up. I don't know. IT, have you allowed him to log in? Is there a Marco Diaz online? Is there a Marco Diaz online? If so, allow him to speak.
Marco.
Okay, he must have dropped off then. I just wanted to give him the opportunity.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Great. Then commissioners will discuss the proposal and testimony.
So I have questions. So regarding the concerns, like Mrs. Wilson had a concern about the road size with having people coming up and down the road. As we add people living here, what impact will that create for the road that's currently there? Will there be a widening of the road?
Yes, they're going to have to meet city street standards on their side of the road. So they're going to have to build that out. They'll have to dedicate the maximum width, which in this case that's going to be more of a minor arterial, because if the future overpass goes in there, we got to be able to have enough traffic to move people through. And then he will have to build at that side with curb gutters, sidewalk, landscape strip. All of those will be in place. I know the question came up about parking.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be able to do all of their parking on their property.
So it should not spill over onto a public road.
It shouldn't, but if it's a public road and it's deemed to be able to park on the side of that road, then they could. If it's a road that is deemed no parking, like Second East, you can't park on that road.
Right.
So if that's the case and they set that up, then nobody would be allowed to park along that road. So that may be one of the things they do just to protect that. We don't want the conflict between farmers and residents.
And so that would be brought to the developer.
The developer would look at
Developer.
that, and that would be something Keith and him would discuss.
Okay.
And Keith would set those standards in the development agreements and the things that he would have to do to be able to mitigate that issue.
Do we know, with it being a county road, what would change for the width of it if it
would
became
change
a
the city
city?
standards.
Yeah, what's the difference between a city and a county road?
County is typically 30 feet of road base.
Okay,
Most roads are 44 for just a regular 2-lane, where this one could be a 5-lane. You're talking upwards of 100 foot from sidewalk to sidewalk. That counts all of those in. So your pavement could be upwards of 5 lanes, 2 each direction and a turning lane. So that's the future potential that may be in there, depending on Keith's classification.
and then that would accommodate the farm. It was a concern for Mrs. Wilson.
Usually by that time hits, most of this area would have been built out.
Okay.
So, yeah. And it comes down to, at that point, then it's just like a farmer going down Second East. He's going to have to drop the header onto a trailer and transport it to the next field. That's the challenge.
And then I don't remember if it was Mr. Tall had a question about the water, maybe flooding where he flood irrigates. That would be information given to the developer, so the developer knows whether or not to build up.
He's already aware of all of that.
So
He's
that he
aware of the
doesn't have
groundwater
flooded.
and that there is flood irrigation going on.
Okay, so he'll take care of that as well, knowing that information.
Yes.
And do we have another spot in the city where there's 11.5 acres and an LDR3 that we could look at?
We have some that are similar. You've got one out in Karchner's that is LDR3, and it's built out right next to the large chapel, but it's not built out to this density. It's closer, but it's single family in that area.
But it's an LDR3, which could
Could
be
be.
what is put here depending on what developer chooses.
And we've increased the density in that last round when we changed everything.
Okay.
Used to be around 8 units to the acre in LDR3. We have now gone to the 10
Okay,
in that sense. So
okay.
that has come into play.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Well, I think just kind of clarifying that conversation, each tract has the responsibility to widen its frontage. So it's not like the entire Moody Road is going to be widened, right? So that 11 acre, the developer on 11 acres, he'll have to widen his frontage, then it'll throw it back down. And then when the next tract develops, it'll widen out. So over time, the entire roadway eventually will be a 5-lane arterial collect.
Not necessarily one fell swoop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that project won't be responsible to widen the whole road,
Okay.
but he does have to widen his frontage.
I think Fifth West between 7th South and University
Yeah.
Boulevard is a good example. As some of these properties have developed or continue to develop, you see the road is significantly wider in those areas.
And you also realize we may ask for the dedicated width, but we may only put a 2-lane in to start for right now, because we won't make them build the full 5th. That happened on 7th South, going up above Harvest Heights. They built the full width thinking that was going to develop. It didn't. And key statement is, if I've got weeds growing in my right of way, my road's too wide.
Yeah.
And so you've got to wait for the development to demand the wider road to be able to justify that. So he has the right of way so that he can do it as the traffic gets busier and the demand gets higher.
Thanks.
Any further discussion or motion?
Well, in the past, I just have to bring up that, we've approved higher density in this area and had discussion about that in the past. With the way that this is going to develop with the new development that's occurring down the road. And so I look at this and think it's a lower density than what we've already approved in that area.
It's also property backing to a highway system, which you typically don't want to put $1 million house on a 1 acre lot. That's typically not what the market wants. And so to be able to put density backing to a freeway corridor is honestly is actually it's a good mix. So
I just wanted to concur with what was said a minute ago about, when the comprehensive plan was redone, this was designated intermediate housing. And so, I mean, that's obviously the way it's going to develop. So I think that as this happens, we'll see more and more of that property asking for the same thing. So, and backing up the highway, I agree. This is the kind of projects that we'll need to have there.
Yeah, I would just add that if you start at second east and move west towards this property, I mean, this is the way that we see, big traffic at this new temple. And then there have been projects that are in the MDRs approved in between. And then we come down to a product that would fit up against a highway. And so I think it makes a lot of sense with the comp plan and how it was established with the future growth of this area.
Yeah, it does look like it transitions really well through that.
Alan, I have another question. So the Fifth West road that I see here, is that a dirt road right now?
No, Fifth West.
Or is that just a line?
When you do Fifth West here, this is paved road.
It is paved.
Yes, down to, I believe.
Right there.
Right there.
On the corner.
That's the end of it there. This is private road back in here right now.
Okay, so in order to have another out for that area as density builds up, instead of heading towards Second West, if we're headed down Fifth, we need to
come back
head
down
out
Moran.
Moran View Road because this hasn't been built out south of that yet.
Right.
Okay, and then you were talking about the sewage, like for the sewer or whatever. What's our time frame for that
They're in the process right now. They're working with some of the landowners to acquire the right of ways and things like that. They've got most of that in place. They finish that up and then they're going to bid on building that sewer line out. Their hope was to start this fall because the groundwater here gets within 8 feet of the ground. And so if they can get it in the wintertime, that table drops and they don't have to de-water as much to be able to put that line in. Cause I think that lift station's down like 26, 30 feet. So you're way down. So you have to use huge pumps to pull the water out so they can work on it.
So will this increasing the density here when will this give impact to what our current sewage plant has capacity for?
Answer this question, but we're getting off.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was just going to say, they've already made a sewer plan. They've come in and looked at their whole wastewater. They're making upgrades to the plant right now that will meet the needs for now and in the future. So they've got it all planned out for future usage.
Okay, thanks.
It's worth, again, this board doesn't necessarily deal with those issues, but I think there's enough individuals on this board who have dealt with our public works director that Keith doesn't, in any development agreement that we start after a project or construction is approved for this city, it is a strenuous process. And I think Aaron McKay can speak to that. They go through every single one of those things. And Keith is often isn't the developer's favorite person in the room. When Keith goes, how thorough Keith is in making those, doing his analysis and making sure that the infrastructure within the city is adequate to support whatever permits are being pulled. So that being said, it's easy to say, hey, we're going to let staff deal with some of those questions, or, those things are going to be addressed by someone other than this board. That's kind of my pull back to that type of scenario, though, where it's a very, it's a process that shouldn't be put in front of a board with lay members. It just shouldn't. It's very technical, structural. All the things that Keith does is based on projection, based on acceptable rates and standards, that, again, that's why he gets paid the big bucks. So.
Thank you, Spencer.
And he does that as part of a zoning change too. He looks at that and sees what would the impact of the change in that zone have, and we get that in the report too, so.
I would entertain a motion if someone's ready to make one.
I would make a motion that we recommend to City Council the approval of the Moody Road Townhomes rezone from TAG to LDR3 based on the ability to fit within staff parameters and that this is a fit within the comprehensive plan that has been extensively looked at by this group as well.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Aaron Richards. Any discussion of the motion itself? Okay. All in favor then?
Aye.
Aye. And any opposed? Okay. Thank you. That motion will carry, and we'll recommend that to City Council for approval or for their consideration. This brings us to our fourth item. This is a public hearing. Sky Meadows rezone request from LDR1 to LDR2. This is located along Silverwood Lane and Ridgeview Drive. I'm sure Alan will bring that up for us. The application is to change approximately 16.25 acres from LDR1 to LDR2. And is the applicant here, or Alan, are you presenting on behalf of?
Is here.
Oh,
Would you
okay.
like to get up and present?
Would you like to present on this proposal, please?
Hello, my name is Mitchell Smedley. I am the applicant for this rezone request. I represent the owner, the developer. Yeah, I guess I'd start by saying thank you to the Planning Commission for preparing this report, and thank you to all our neighbors who are here in support. Right now, those lots along Windsong Drive are already zoned LDR2. The lots along Silverwood and Ridgeview Drive are currently zoned LDR1. The reason for, perfect, thank you. We are hoping to get an LDR2 zone up and down Silverwood and Ridgeview Drive. The reason for the request is to get us a little bit more density to make the project pencil a little bit better. There is a development agreement already in place to improve Poline Road that's adjacent to the entire Sky Meadows neighborhood. And we believe that getting a few more homes in there would allow it to pencil a little bit better. In addition to that, it allows us to adjust as we plat in phases to the needs of the market. Right now, we don't really know how fast these lots will absorb if they are at these LDR1 standards. LDR2 might address the needs of the community a little bit better and provide a slightly more affordable home than a larger lot would. And yeah, I'm here to answer any questions or provide further detail.
Yeah. I'm also curious because I know that's sat for a while. Is it also assist with the expense of trenching through the lava for the utilities?
Certainly. So we are trying to design in a way where we can avoid trenching through that lava, but there's that big trench that's been in there up and down Windsong Drive for a few years now.
Yeah.
We think it certainly does allow us to redesign it. We're going to submit a whole new amended plat once we know what zoning we end up with. But we can design our neighborhood a little bit easier to try to avoid some of that lava rock.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions for the applicant? And do we have any questions for, thank you. Have we any questions for staff about the proposal?
Do you have any?
Staff, would you like to?
Yeah.
present?
We have reviewed this, looked at the applicant's request on this one, looked at the opportunities there, and staff at this point is ready to recommend it to you for recommendation to city council. We think it fits within the area and what they would like to accomplish. And so we're sending it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes, for staff,
Staff.
absolutely.
So
Please.
you indicated on your the conditions about installing booster pumps.
Mhm.
Is that something that needs to be included in the motion?
No.
Okay.
That all comes in the plating and the development agreement and all of that part of it, the infrastructure. They will have to meet that to be able to meet those requirements
So we don't
before.
need to address those conditions.
Because this could be rezoned and sit until they build a water tower closer, and then that goes away. It's kind of that similar. We don't know what's really going to drive that yet, but it is something that Keith is concerned about if that development starts today or spring. He's let them know, here's one of the challenges you're going to face if you do this immediately.
But that's not a P and Z issue.
No.
Okay. Can you pull up the comprehensive plan on the map, please?
It's being slow today, but it's all low residential, which fits within the LDR too.
Okay.
Alan, while you're pulling that up, Silverwood Lane,
Mhm.
there's part of that road that already exists, right? And then
Just the stub in.
just the stub in.
Yeah, they've just got the spot where it turns in. Same thing on Ridgeview. Wildflower, they come in, but it starts to go to the north, but it just stops immediately. They've got the intersection.
Okay.
Okay. So that's all comprehensive plan for low residential. Okay. Great. Anything else for staff before we open the public hearing? Okay. Thank you, Alan. All right, we'll open the public hearing again, hearing first from those who are in favor, then those who are neutral, and then those who are opposed to the proposal. Again, as you come to the podium, please state your name and your address, and we'll give you 3 minutes. So we'll open the public hearing. Anybody opposed or anybody in favor of the proposal? We'll hear from you first.
Nathan Tonks. I live at 1248 Stone Drive. I think that we have empty, unused lots on either side of us right now that just grow weeds and blow dust through the summer. And I personally would rather, I mean, if this will help get that area developed, I would rather see nice homes with, green grass and kids playing out in the yard than, tumbleweeds and thistles. I think it helps with the, city's future plans, getting a little bit more affordable housing in. I know that was rough for us. We happened to get lucky, got in just at the right time, but a lot of people can't and kind of miss that window. So those are things that I'm in favor of. Completing the roads and gutters and everything would be nice. I think my understanding is assuming the developer does the grading right, that'll cut down on some of the flooding we have down on Stone, especially on that east side of the road. So those are my thoughts. Thanks.
Thank you. Others who would like to speak in favor, please.
My name's Noah Filian. I live at 1268 Stone. So I work for the city of Rexburg, not obviously a representative of the city at this time, but anything that we can do to increase density would benefit the city greatly. The city right now is short about $5.3 million for roads to adequately repair it. There are some major changes that need to happen in order to fund things appropriately, but increasing density would help increase fuel tax and also sales tax to the city. I want to echo what Brother Tonk said. I eventually would like my kids to be able to buy a house close by us. Making smaller lots make things much more affordable. So I'm for it.
Thank you.
My name is Patrick Ulrich at 1228 Stone Drive. So I'm a neighbor here. The first home that was completed on our street was completed in 2009, 17 years ago. And so for 17 years, there has been a drawn out periodic construction process to complete the rest of the homes. The next one, the final 2 homes will be completed in 2026. The area is going to be developed regardless. And so I think that the smaller lots and more housing style options could potentially motivate faster development, which for me in turn means less construction time to complete that phase of the development, less time for the dust and the wind that we were talking about here, as well as the sporadic sidewalks and strange people in the construction companies who come in and are always around the neighborhood. For me, this rezoning also allows more affordable housing options that aren't just apartment complexes and townhomes. So I'm excited to see the options for smaller homes on smaller lots and twin homes as well. And I believe that the people who want to come and stay in Rexburg are generally good people. So for me, more affordable options for more good people to settle and stay in our great town is fine by me. Thank you.
Thank you. Please.
Hello, my name is Caleb Hatch of 1240 Stone Drive. And the home that I live in currently, I would not have been able to afford on my own. I had to have a little bit of financial assistance from my parents. And so I am always in support of anything that can get more affordable housing to people who are looking to buy their first homes.
Thank you.
My name is Jordan Charrington. I live at 1227 Stone Drive. I'm a licensed real estate agent, and I have been for over 5 years. And the problems that we face in our industry, like have already been mentioned, affordability and housing shortage. And this is still the case. So I am in full support of this plan. We need this. We need the city to move forward with a little bit higher density. If it was LDR3, I don't know if I would be in support of it, but LDR2 is fine by me. I think that the smaller lot sizes are not an issue regarding like property values decline, because we already are so close to Founders Square that has a PUD allowing for small lots. And there's already Windsong Drive that's zoned LDR2. And so I don't see it affecting our property values at all. The developer has been really great to work with in kind of rallying support and addressing concerns. And so I have a lot of faith and trust that they will do well by our neighborhood and be able to keep the same feel that we have now. I've seen some of their plans and I think they look great. So yeah, I say, let's go. Let's do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Will Gerke, 1258 Stone Drive. And so as a neighbor, I echo all the other, I guess I concur with everything else that people have said. The other thing that I'm excited about is just the increased, what am I trying to say? Sorry. Like the fact that it's going to be developed and that will benefit like the water booster station that they're planning on using and other improvements that will benefit the broader area. And that's why I support this.
Thank you.
My name is Ken Foch. I live at 1278 Stone Drive, and I will just echo ditto everything that's been said. Talking about the LDR2 that's been approved already, just makes sense to continue on that and agree, get the dust starting to get settled. We're not going to get rid of it, but it'll be a lot better for our community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
My name is Alan Cook. I live at 1299 Stone Drive, which is actually the intersection where the new road will be going up. And I do also echo everybody's comments, especially the flooding part. I have a ditch around the back of my house that I have to open up every spring, or I do get flooded. So I'm really excited about the streets and the curbs and just beautifying that field. And one thing that hasn't been mentioned is the rodents, which is a terrible problem in that area. So I am totally for the approval of the amendment. So,
Thank you. Any others speaking in favor of the proposal? Seeing none, is there anyone who would like to speak neutral to the proposal, neither for or against? Seeing none, those who are opposed to the proposal, if you would like to speak.
Little bit of a weird situation because they're all my neighbors. We all know each other. Going opposite what they said.
All right, this is a democracy. Would you please state your name and your address?
My name is Bryce Friends, and I live at 1336 Stone Drive, just across the way from the intersection of Silverwood Lane. My thought process on the matter is it's going to be developed either way. Like LDR1, LDR2, doesn't matter. It will be built. And when it gets built, the dust issues you're mentioning, the rodent issues, all these things, the flooding, all that's going to be resolved regardless. My main concern comes where in this neighborhood, there's a lot of young kids. It's a very high density neighborhood for kids, and my kids included. And they all play every day out in the streets. Tons of kids in the streets, like it's the neighborhood park in the street. And increasing the density of this and adding more homes there than the density of our existing neighborhood, it's just going to increase more and more traffic on these roads. It's going to make it more of a dangerous location for kids to be playing on the streets. Additionally, doing this is going to, maybe not significantly due to the fact we have Founder Square and we have this Windsong Drive thing, but it will drop the property values of our homes. If the rest of this neighborhood is built in LDR1, then our home values will go up. With LDR2 here, all of the comps for the most recently sold homes are going to drop the appraisal values of our homes because they will be smaller homes on smaller lots. And it's going to make it harder to be able to have our homes appreciate in value. Additionally, smaller homes, townhomes, twin homes, whatever these smaller lots can accommodate, they also have a higher turnaround due to commonly being used for more rental type properties. Doing so makes it a lot harder for us in our very tight-knit neighborhood to stay in touch with each other and know who everybody is. Right now, we rely a lot on that and knowing that when our kids are out and about, the neighbors we know are helping keep an eye on them and that we know everybody and everybody knows everybody. And if we have a lot more rentals and a lot more turnaround in the area, then it's going to make it a lot more difficult to keep an eye on who's who and who's actually around us. That's all.
Thank you. Any others opposed? Thank you.
I am very opposed to this, but I live at 1312 Stone Drive. My name is Nakomi Vargas, and I literally live right in front of Windsong or Silverwood. So, like he was saying, my number one concern is we have feral children running amok in our neighborhood. And Stone Drive comes down, and then it comes down into a steep hill. And then right after that steep hill, that's where Silverwood would be at. When I say that people come down that road like it's a highway, I'm not lying. My husband sits on our rockers because we're old and yells at people to slow down often. So I have concerns about the children. I have concerns about how steep that intersection would be coming straight into my house. So I have concerns about water runoff. I know that it would be alleviated with gutters and stuff like that, but I do have concerns about how a bus would get up those hills because they already can't get up Stone Drive sometimes. I've literally watched them literally have to turn around. So I have a lot of concerns about just the roads. I think that behind all our houses on Stone Drive on our side of the street, that will never be developed as of right now because they can't get access from Pole Line Road. So we're always going to have dust and we're always going to have dirt and we're always going to be battling the thistles. But I'd much rather have safety. I am very concerned about the safety of my house specifically. I really don't like the idea of zone two, or 2 units going into the same complex. I had an issue with it with the other one that was approved prior for fear that it would lessen my property value. My house is the oldest house on the block. And so I have been there through the past 8 years. So my deepest concern is water runoff coming straight into our house, vehicles coming flying down at an intersection with the high rate of speed that they do come off of Stone Drive, and all of the children that are in my neighborhood. I would rather see it be zoned as zone 1 and allow the higher density to be at other places. My other issue with this is we have no services on this side of the road or on this side of Rexburg in general. We have to go down Second East, so that's adding more traffic onto Second East, and that's already a really populated road. And then Pole Line as well, with the trucks that come flying down. I'm just really concerned about that in general for our community and just being able to keep our kids safe in that neighborhood because, like I said, they're feral. So that I take that as what it is, but I do not want to see this go to zone 2.
Thank you. Others speaking opposed to the proposal? Okay, seeing none, we'll allow, since there have been some comments against, would you like to rebut any of those comments? Or address them? You don't have to, but you're welcome to if you have the opportunity if you'd like to.
Close here. Yeah, close the public hearing first, Randall.
Oh, okay. That's not the order that has on my sheet, but I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Good. I'll close the public hearing then. Okay. And then offer you a chance to change this on here if that's what's supposed to do.
Well, I want to thank everybody who came out to voice their opinions, period, about this development. It seems like traffic is a big issue. We are expecting a small increase in homes from what we could accomplish with an LDR1 zone. We expect an additional 10 to 15 extra homes beyond what we could already put there. It does make a big difference for the developer economically to be able to put those additional homes. Without those additional homes, we don't know that it would pencil very well at all and might stay as undeveloped as it is for the foreseeable future. So that's certainly a consideration for us. Any concerns about flooding? And I've heard other concerns as well beyond today of people worried about flooding getting into their home. Just the planning zoning, the planning staff would never allow us to build in a way that would adversely affect neighbors. So we're going to be in more control of the water than we are today if we develop it. Yeah, and as far as traffic, we are going to have better access from Poline Road because we are widening Poline Road and paying for those improvements as part of our pre-existing development agreement. So yeah, there'll be accesses from Poline and Stone Drive as there already is. Yeah, that's the best answers I have to the concerns voiced today.
Thank you very much. Okay, commissioners, then we will discuss the proposal first, and I should have done this at the previous public hearing, but is there anybody who has a conflict of interest that they need to disclose before we proceed? Okay, let's proceed with our discussion then.
So I just want to start the discussion by saying how pleased I am with the public that have come out to talk about this on both sides of this. It's rare that we see lots of people that come out on both sides of the issue, and it really helps us in our decision to hear all sides of this. So
It's rare that all of you adhere to the 3-minute rule. So
yeah,
Yes, that was well done. I had a timer, but I.
by this time I'm getting coffee with people, and you guys
this has been
on down. It's just been great.
the most pleasant public hearing that I've been involved with where there've been comments. So thank you.
I want to add to that. There's something to say about a developer who knocks doors and talks to people before they just come into a room. A lot of times there are rumors, there are things that go around, and I just appreciate somebody being willing to go out there and shake a hand and get the pulse of a neighborhood. It's impressive.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and that having been said, again, we will consider only the impact of the zone change and nothing in terms of what projects might be proposed by the developer, but the zone change alone. So.
I think there's some valid points with making this more developable and providing opportunities for more housing. I like that part of this. I think that the zoning would still fit within that area and would work well. So I'm good with it.
And there is LDR2 on this already on this corner down here. So it's
we have some
similar.
LDR2
So
in
there's
there already.
Similar LDR2 there. And LDR1 on the other side, but so it's kind of both.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and echo what the other commissioners have said. This has been a great public hearing. I appreciate the comments on both sides. Some of the feedback I'm hearing from the public hearing, I just wanted to address a couple items because traffic is always a concern. But I'm just up here using ChatGTP to check a couple numbers. Your typical AM traffic by single family dwelling is 0.75 vehicle trips per hour. So it's less than one car leaving a house per hour per single family house. So if you're talking about adding 15 homes, let's be generous, you're going to see 15 more cars during a 60-minute period. That's not a lot of traffic. So I think we're okay on traffic. I personally live in a community or a subdivision that is a mix of LDR1 and LDR2. And it's maybe not intuitive, but the LDR2, the twin homes in my community actually raised the price per square foot on the single family homes. So it actually increased my property value by having twin homes in my community because you simply cannot build a small home inexpensively. Small homes cost more than large homes on a square foot basis. So having a small home go in behind you oftentimes raises your property value. A little counterintuitive, but that's typically how the math works. So I'm sensitive when a project has been stalled because of economic conditions. I think the town of Rexburg, no joking, needs at least 200 to 300 twin homes for our community to be balanced, just balanced, not to have a surplus. So I don't think this is an excessive ask. I'd be in support.
Yeah, I would just add, I've seen the same thing in developing that when you go higher density and you get some of that product in there, price per square foot actually goes up on smaller units like that, and it appeals to a broader category. I would also say that a market speaks when something for a couple of decades has sat undeveloped. This particular piece, which sits, I don't know, 500-600 yards up Pole Line Road from my home, I've seen many developers, go through this and try to figure out how they're going to make it work, and it gets passed off from one to the other. So the fact that something could happen there that would complete that part of the neighborhood and be able to add sidewalks, add curb, add some of that appeal, I think are positives for the area. Maybe we'll get a few less kids riding their dirt bikes straight through there, and like my son crashing. But anyway, it seems like it makes sense. And if something hasn't gone in, opening this up to a developer who has a way to possibly make this work, I think is a smart way to finish this off.
Yeah, I live in an LDR too, and speaking as member of the commission, I feel like I live in a super safe neighborhood, in LDR2, and it's traffic is low, and ours is similar setup to this, in that there's kind of a couple of access points, but a lot of it is, yeah. So ours is similar, and we don't have, it's really low traffic neighborhoods. I would personally rather see a project finished to alleviate some of these concerns rather than sit longer. And so I concur with what you said.
Okay, I might as well say the thing that I want to say, which is this. We need variety in Rexburg, and we don't have a whole lot of LDR1. And I think, so this is for my mom. You got developers. This is my mom. So as a mom, I need my kids to be able to play outside. And so having space outside, I think, is an important element of that. And from what I've watched with my neighbors where I live, they start in a townhome, then they want to move to a home that's a starter home, and then they want to move to a home that has a little bit more space. And I don't see Rexburg as having the homes with more space. So I'm always in favor of the LDR1 at the same time. Economically, it just doesn't pencil at this point. So that's where I'm sitting with this at the moment, because I understand. I think LDR2 would fit fine here as far as changing the zone to that. I do want to see, I hope that it'll pencil at some point, because having space for kids to run around in a yard and parents to be able to see their own kids running around in the yard, I think is really valuable. I think every home develops into every neighborhood, into every community. And so I look at like the Summerfield subdivision, which has the LDR2 and the LDR3, and they put conditional use, right? No, PUD. Help me out. Where they can meet in the middle and they can play. They have plenty of yard, lots of pickleball, lots of green space that they can use. I am in favor as a mother of being able to look out my window and see my children or my grandchildren playing. So I just want to throw that out there, because that's where I stand.
And I don't want to see my kids. I want to say, go play somewhere else.
I know, probably my husband's point of view too. I like seeing them.
I want to see kids playing outside, period. My neighborhood's become so quiet in the last few years, and I'll blame our phones and video games. I don't want to. Anyway, I digress. Any other discussion before we have a motion? Sally, you've been quiet. Is Sally still with us? Okay, maybe not.
I'm just listening. I think I agree with the LDR2 also. I can see that it may help that get developed, and it would be nice to have it finished. And again, I think that when the plat comes out, if they ask for the amendment, that the engineering department will be really careful to make things, the best they can as far as with water and with that kind of thing. So I'm in favor of this also.
Thank you. Entertain a motion at this time if we don't have no further discussion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we recommend to council to approve the Sky Meadows rezoning from LDR1 to LDR2 in that it's a fit with the comp plan, it's a fit with the surrounding land uses, and also allows movement forward on a stalled out project.
Thank you.
Am I allowed to say that?
And seconded by Jim Lawrence. And Dan, okay, it's seconded by two of us then. Any discussion of that motion as made? All in favor then?
Aye.
And any opposed? Good.
We didn't hear you, Sally.
Yes.
Okay, it's an aye from Sally. Thank you. Let's go with Dan. Yeah, we had 2 seconds on it. Record Dan. All right, we will recommend that to City Council for their consideration and recommend that they approve the project or approve the zone change from LDR1 to LDR2. We thank you all for your participation and appreciate the comments on both sides. And thank you very much for being involved. Really appreciate it. I think that's our last public hearing or our last item.
That's your last item.
Other than next week, we have a heads up, but not next week, November 6th, an ordinance amendment time.
We do.
Anything further, Alan, for us?
There could be some more plats coming through at that point. Yeah, that's probably the majority of it right now. I don't have any, there could be some, I think there's a CUP also coming up at that point.
Okay.
If I remember right.
Okay.
Will we have a chance to review this ordinance amendment prior?
It's very basic. Yeah, you'll get copies of it to read through.
Okay.
But it's like a 1 page, very simple.
You want to just do it now?
Sorry, I have to publish it first.
Okay.
That has to go through the full process. We want to be legal. In other words, Spencer will get upset with me.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
All right.
there's a few things that are coming up in the next 3 or 4 meetings. Nothing super challenging, but we've got some stuff that'll hopefully keep us busy. Yeah.
Okay,
Lots of stuff coming.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Great. We will stand adjourned then. Thank you very much for your participation.
See you.
I tell you what, if I didn't like the neighborhood I was already in, that's a neighborhood I would move to.